Hello, and welcome to the show. I'm Suyash Barve. Let's get started with the week's absurdities. Let's jump straight into our top story this week because we're going to talk about reservations. That thing you are either for or against, depending on who you are or what your fake certificate says you are. Look, reservations started off as a necessary measure to uplift socially and economically backward castes and classes. But in the past few years, things have gone a little bit nuts. Communities such as the Patels in Gujarat, the Marathas in Maharashtra, and the Jats in Haryana have all demanded they be given special quotas and designated as economically and socially backward. Now, the Patels control almost 40% of Gujarat's small and medium enterprises. The Marathas are 35% of Maharashtra's population, but own 75% of the land. And the Jats are the freaking Jats. If the Jats were economically backward, no one would have bought the Mahindra Scorpio. But here's the thing. What these guys are trying to do is absolutely correct. Because as long as you're part of the backward classes, reservations are awesome. Doctor, lawyer, engineer, or even a renowned film director. Whatever you want to be, there's a quota that's just right for you. Log on to reservationsforyou.in or call us on 1-800-QUOTA to find out more. Alright, let's go further back. One of the original beneficiaries of reservations were the scheduled castes and tribes, who had suffered centuries of discrimination at the hands of those who were higher up the social ladder. Many in these communities still face discrimination, so these quotas are important. But they were implemented 60 years ago. This isn't how a system of reservation or affirmative action is meant to work. It's meant to be a temporary boost. And the better part of a century doesn't exactly count as temporary. And I may be wrong here, but if you have to keep uplifting the same exact section of society over and over again for 6 decades, your upliftment measures are failing. Also, after 60 years, historical discrimination as a grounds for quotas starts to sound like a weak argument. Mr. Principal, what's happening? Why does he get admission and I don't? Well, Prakash, let me explain to you. Your grandfather was a real bastard. And he was particularly bastardly to that guy's grandfather. इसलिए उसको admission मिलेगा, तेरे को नहीं मिलेगा और अब तू driver बनेगा. Wow, my grandfather was a dick. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I made wide generalizations about 3 different communities and 2 sections of society. That's a personal best for me. And this is exactly where the problem starts. I made the Patels, the Marathas, and the Jats sound like they don't need reservations. But remember, these 3 castes all have agrarian roots, no pun intended. And you may have noticed that it's not the best time to be a farmer in this country. Which basically means that even in these well-to-do communities, there are poor Patels, impoverished Marathas, and let's face facts, lots and lots and lots of uneducated Jats. Papa Kancha. The reverse is true for scheduled castes and tribes, because there are people from these communities who are doing very well for themselves. Which proves that caste-based reservations generalize a community almost as much as your shitty Sardarji jokes. Now you already know why this system exists. Vote banks, of course vote banks. Yeah, vote banks are the only reason politicians wake up in the morning. If you draw a pie chart of a politician's day, 10% would be actual government work, 10% would be putting on chapstick, and 80% would be kissing vote bank ass. Now, the solution to this whole mess is actually quite logical. But I'm talking to politicians right now. So I'm going to have to make this sound sleazy and illegal, so they actually do it. Hello, politician. Are you fed up of fighting for caste-based quotas and reservations? Of course you are. All that hard work and then the Supreme Court just shuts you down. Terrible. Of course you need those votes. But what if I told you there was another way? A way you could tap India's single biggest vote bank. Poor people. Yes, you could unite all of India's poor people and have them all vote for you. All you have to do is switch over India's reservation system to only look at an individual's economic status. Yes! Now it's quantifiable, you can't just inherit the status, and it might actually allow for upliftment, but that's not the point, is it? The point is 375 million people, all below the poverty line, all voting for you. Was the laugh too much? Yeah, it felt like it was too much. One last story before we go. It's a soundbite that's taking over the internet. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Sikkim recently, where he said this.
मैं आभारी हूं सिक्किम सरकार का, आपने इतना बड़ा सम्मान दिया, लेकिन मुझे फूल जैसा नाजुक मत बनने देना। कांटों के बीच गुजारा किया है, कांटों के बीच गुजारा करना है।
Good, good. Our prime ministers are quickly working their way through American high school stereotypes. Vajpayee was the popular cool kid, Manmohan Singh was the brooding silent type, and Narendra Modi is the emo poet. I wonder who would play the class clown. Who might that be? Who could have a good shot at playing class clown? I can't think of anyone right now. I have no idea. It's a tough one. It really is. That's our show. Thank you so much for joining us. As a reward for sticking through the entire episode, here's a clip of Baba Ramdev and Shilpa Shetty doing yoga. If the world doesn't end, we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
चलो वार्म अप कर लो पहले।
हाँ पहले वार्म अप कर
ये पहला और फिर ये दूसरा ऐसे पूरा हाथ खोल के। हाँ शिल्पा ये ऐसे ये फिर तीसरा ऐसे
हमारा योगा का लेकिन
हाँ तो ये